Hello and welcome to another video game story time with me, Sky Fellowship. Today's video is actually not so much a story. I know fine well I've mentioned this before in a couple of vids. Every now and then I'm going to have an idea for a video that isn't so much a story, but I can't really classify it as its own thing. It's like, it feels like a splitting hairs thing to say it's a talking point video, but sometimes that kind of is what it is. I'm trying to create a video purely with the purposes of talking, I guess. And either way, today's episode is going to be entitled Score Chasing is Fun. And it's because we live in a world where there are so many games that come out where there are these 100-hour-long expansive RPGs with stories designed to critique the real world pretty well, like Metaphor taking shots at the way society is at the moment, or games like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, where it's designed to spread awareness for mental health issues. There's loads of different things that games do these days and give us these big, expansive, emotional, gut-wrenching stories, these moments that are always going to stay with us. But we tend to play them once and then we're done. And then there's this section of games, which it's a dying breed, it really is, but it's something that's started to come back. Games like this, Sectory, where the whole point is, I mean, there is like a roguelike mode to it, so there is like an actual game here, but for the most part, it's a score chaser. And it's because score chasers have their place still, because sometimes there's nothing more pure and thrilling about playing a game than just playing it for the sake of numbers going up. It worked really well for Balatro, and it worked really well for Sectory, the game I'm doing it with. Because this has been something that has completely taken the internet slowly, surely, like Balatro was a quick one, but this has been slowly but surely been taking the internet by a storm, because it's such a well-made score shooting, like score chasing game. And people are playing it over and over again, beating their own scores, beating their friends' scores. It's just something so pure and something you can always come back to. And yeah, eventually you'll get sick of it. Like, eventually you can only die in this game so many times. But for the most part, when I'm playing this game at its height and I'm like really trying to focus, I'll really lock in and I'll play it for hours at a time. And I know fine well it's the sort of thing that the more I play it, the better I'm going to get, which definitely drives me. But then it's also, sometimes I don't want a game where I actually... how to word it? Sometimes I want a game where I want to progress, and I want this period of time to be like, I've done this dungeon or this quest or this thing. And other times I'll want a game where I can just sit down, shut up and zone out to. And unfortunately, because of the migraine issues I suffer, Sectory's definitely a problematic game. It's not one that I can usually play a lot. There's a lot going on here. Just playing and doing this review is actually really starting to give me a headache. So this, I already know fine well this video is not going to last that long. But sometimes you truly do just want a pure, simple, zany, fun, arcadey, like score chasing experience, where the whole point is the only person you're competing against really is yourself, because you're trying to get a better score than what you last got. And yeah, obviously, as I've already said, sometimes you'll chase your friends' high scores and you'll try to get that competitive edge, but even then, that then gives you a kind of social community space in a solo game. And I absolutely love that games can do that, where even though you're playing a solo player like experience, you're still getting some community vibe from it, because it's like, oh, I can beat my friend, I'm really close, if I just lock in, I reckon I can do that tonight. And then you could obviously have that moment of, hey, when they check their score next time, sometimes it might not result in a conversation, but you can have that like jab back and forth, just like, as you can see, I beat my score. There's the beat your score, actually, funnily enough. It's not just my own high score I beat, but I'm now, out of the five of us, I am now the top person here. And then other times you'll be stealthy with it, and it's like, let's see if anyone even notices it. And it could take a couple of weeks, because maybe, you know, people have dropped off, and then they go back, and suddenly it's like, oh, but they were like 5th in our little friend pool ranking, and now they're 1st. Well, I can't let that stand. And you can have this little, like, addictive back and forth with it. And I'm really glad that people are still making score chasers, because I've always loved Geometry Wars. I still play Geometry Wars. Even though Sectory exists, I still think Geometry Wars is a better game, because it was just more simple, more pure, and it's one that I can actually play easier with the migraines, I've noticed. This one is a little too much. I've actually had to turn an accessibility feature on. I think it was under accessibility. It might be under graphics. So, screen shake, I don't think it is. Beat effects, that was it. Beat effects absolutely ruins me with my visual impairment. Like, having all of these things moving, like all of the background that I'm flying on, all of the triangles basically moving in tune to the beat, I could not focus for the life of me. So, I'm really grateful that the devs realised that that might be a distraction and a problem for people like me and turned it off. But yeah, there's not much more I can actually really say, other than this is a time where I will kind of ask for engagement. What are some high score games that you still to this day play, and you've maybe still got a friend pool of people who you'll just go back and forth every now and then and try to beat the leaderboard? Obviously, you could do that on any game if you don't have friends that it has a leaderboard. I literally don't have anyone on my friends list, sadly, who plays Sectory, so I only compete with my own scores, essentially. Whereas games where I do get people on, I will, like, if I turn it on and I'll see they've got a higher score since I last turned it on, yeah, it'll sometimes drive me. I'll go, you know what? Let's see if I can bump that up a little bit. So yeah, what games are that sort of score chasing game for you? What are the things that you can do a bit of drive on? Because it's its own form of competitiveness. It's the only way I can actually really describe it. It's very unique to score chasers, because of course you can have full-on competitive games where you either are versing other people, or even in PvE like scenarios where it's like, ooh, look at how well I did on this mission. Like, I didn't get spotted once in a stealth game, or I killed all of the enemies doing like melee instead of using a gun. Like, there's loads of little things like that you can do. But for the most part, the best, simplest, most pure way of essentially beating your friends on games where you don't really compete with them is a score chaser. There's just something so thrilling about numbers going higher and higher. There really is. It's very addictive. Right, and with that, this has been Sky Fellowship, and until the next time, I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. And I've just realised this video is going to have an awkward end because the mouse cursor locks itself to the screen, so yeah, bye!